if you look at the use cases for conversational commerce, right? I believe you also have CPaaS Plus, which is your in-house developed omni-channel offering. So what have been some of the major use cases for conversational commerce that you see at the moment and coming out in the future?
So that's a good question. So to
in fact, guys, if you can just make the volume a bit higher of the mics, just picking up the volume better. Yeah.
So make any service profitable or the workable, there are push and pull is required. There's a push from the Google and the ecosystem partners like Vodafone and other telcos, but the last mile still has to be stitched. And the last mile is the value addition, which will bring in the use cases.
Right.
And that will bring the pull, because the pull will also come from the awareness, which will come from Vodafone or the large partners in the ecosystem who will advertise it like the other partner or the other WhatsApp kind of partner. And this push and pull will popularize this and make it to the next level.
All right.
This will also actually put too much of onus onto the technology partners like us, whereby these channels provides me enough and more data points. And when they provide me more enough data points, it gives me ability to personalize the message, know the customer better, know the insights better, and then use this for the enterprise benefit so that they can target well and get the benefit out. So this is a kind of onus which is coming to enterprise. At the same time, enterprise also has a kind of task to do. At this point of time, this channel cannot be, controlled by the manual, stuff. What I mean by manual is the data analytics solutions. It has to be a CDP at the back.
Okay.
And that CDP is a CDP plus the intelligence platform, which
Just
is
to be clear to everyone, CDP, you mean customer data platform?
It's a customer data platform, which actually creates the profile of the customer, in a 360-degree profile of the customer, and then keeps on enriching the data as and when the conversation happens. So this is the need of an hour. An enterprise should buy these or install this in their system, so that they can benefit out of this, the rich channel, what is available now to use, and personalize their communication and increase their commerce.
And
commerce.
Sorry, yeah.
So because the conversation increases the commerce, and then this conversation is being driven by the insights of the consumers.
Right.
And that's the engagement.
Perfect. And Krishna, asking you from the enterprise perspective, Avnish mentioned about some of the aspects which enterprises should be doing. So do you guys actively have a CDP in play? And you also have all the other ecosystem members all together at one go. This is your chance to air your dirty laundry of what are the issues you're facing and what is it that you expect from the ecosystem to do better?
So CDP, of course, we started this, but it's a long journey, right? It's not just one day you build the CDP. So we are in progress. We are using CDP for activation and other stuff in a very smaller bit. But there is more to go, firstly. But we require more ecosystem also in place to manage that sort of a large data to do that, right? More interfaces required, more intelligence is required, right? So there are the few things which we are looking at it. And in fact, RCS, I want to just take it up one bit.
Yep.
This, when it stopped, before that we were using it. Broadly, we have seen the consumer, when they send an SMS and an RCS, the difference which we have seen is 2x, the engagement is what? 2.5%, 2x or 2x plus the engagement was. Just that now it is good, just the commercial has to be viable for the enterprises. That need to be done.
And has RCS or RBM significantly helped in your acquisition journey, since that's a direct KRA? So how has that been for you?
Yeah, that is good. I'll say okay. I'll not so too good, but okay. I think it's started, then it should be.
Right. So Nipun, Infobip looks at multiple enterprises. Kotak is one example, and thank you again to Infobip for even helping bring Kotak onto the panel. From a global perspective, or at least from an Indian enterprise perspective, how do you see these various channels in terms of their efficacy in conversion? So there was a 2x number which was thrown here. What is your general understanding of the efficacy of the various channels?
So I think, yeah, it's basically now these digital channels that are, the way to go for brands globally. And,
Right.
and of course, in India also, that is picking up in a big way. And of course, we have the early adopters like Kotak 811 who've been digital in their
Right,
journey,
right.
and they continue to, engage with their customers in a digital manner. We did an analysis of our messaging over the last 2 years. Okay, so like 2021 over 2022, 23 is too early. We saw like a 68% jump in the adoption of these digital channels on,
As compared to traditional channels, all right?
SMS, of course, is the, the larger, traffic generator, but in terms of, engagement with customers and how the brands are using these channels like a WhatsApp or an RCS or an OTT, an in-app push, those kind of things, the jump has been tremendous. Let's say first half of 21 to first half of 22 alone. In terms of, adoption, I think you mentioned in the beginning that we are one of the players, and us CPaaS providers are the people who bring the ecosystem together. So also what really works is that we build use cases. We try to get, success stories from different verticals, from different industry verticals, from different industry types, and let's say similar industry verticals from other regions, and we share our success stories and try to, engage with our enterprise customers to help them understand what is a good practice, what is a good, successful practice in other markets, and that's how we try to help them, achieve their end goal, which is, engaging with the customer, and, as Avnish said, is about also then getting that commerce part of it out to get the actual transaction done, where you engage with the customer to the level that he goes into making a purchase or to, signing up for an account or whatever that the end call to action is. Yeah.
All right. So, Abhinav, I'm gonna break this flow and ask you a point-blank question. So, in India, I think we all know that today WhatsApp has, been way more popular at the moment, given the lead time since it's been operational in the conversational commerce space. Beyond the aspect that RBM will be relatively more native to the user within their handset, what additional benefits, features, functionalities can the common man of India expect to experience from a conversational commerce perspective in RBM versus WhatsApp?
I think, let me answer from you. You asked a question for a common man. Right?
Exactly.
Now if you're talking about an end user or you're talking about a brand?
The end user is the common man. So I'm not talking about the
Right.
brand, the end user.
Right. So from an end user's perspective, I think it's not about the channel. I think it's more about whether the use case which is being sent to the user is safe, helpful, and relevant or not. Right.
Okay.
You did mention about the point of it being a native experience or not. Apart from the part that it's native, well, people have been used to getting messages and promotions on that native app.
Right.
If you talk about just some simple benefits like you can have an SMS fallback because it's an upgrade to SMS.
Right.
You could use SMS opt-ins, which you've done for messaging earlier. So
Right.
you don't have a whole process of going about collecting opt-ins again. One could argue, I would not go on a feature-wise comparison on what is rich and what is not.
Right.
But I think if you look from a standalone perspective, from an RBM perspective, I would look at three things. It's secure,
Okay.
it's verified, right? And it is being verified it will be verified by one of the carrier entities in the country who are known brands.
Right.
And it's going to be richer, right? The second one is it is allowing for conversations, right? And I would just say from a brand's perspective, I will not comment on what is the percentage increase you're getting on response rate, something like that, right?
Right.
It's very subjective, but I can say that there's a huge range, right, which I've seen, right? You spoke about 68%, you spoke about 2x. I've
Right.
seen much larger rates and much lower rates as well, right?
Okay.
But what's important is that the platform is giving you analytics to decide whether the campaign is useful or not. And it is not only telling you at a read rate or a response rate. If you have multiple elements in your campaign, right, you can see how people are interacting with every element and you can tweak them, right?
Okay.
And over a period of time, basis how users are responding, right,
you can tweak your campaign to increase it, right?
Got it.
So I would not compare, but I would say that it allows you all the tools which you need.
Right.
And analytics is core.
So I guess driving loyalty and building trust, that's two out of the three pillars of this conversation. And I think that's where you're saying that RBM will play its role in building that.
It has to be, see, we have to respect the user.
Right,
We have to respect opt-ins, otherwise you'll not get read rates.
right,
It has to be relevant, otherwise beyond the first time people will not pick it up.
right,
And if you don't get response rates well as a brand, people will not invest
right,
as well. So, I mean, it provides you all the tools to do the right thing.
right, right. And I think not having a clear opt-in policy in the first run is what brought about some level of chaos.
No,
You needn't comment on that.
I, the policy was fairly clear, but I think we've just built in more controls so that we have much more.
Perfect. Perfect. And Dwarka, steering towards you, there is that third element of monetizing opportunities, right? So again, VIL has taken up the plunge to work with the RBM ecosystem. How do you see as an operator? Because while you said that you don't see cannibalization, and again, I'm going beyond RCS RBM. I'm saying in general, you as an operator are also having to deal with your subscribers using other conversational commerce platforms, such as WhatsApp, for example, or even other ones which are in use. So how do you see the monetizing capabilities of the entire gamut from an operator perspective? How do you see